Good morning, everyone, and hello. Welcome to our channel. If you're new to the channel, I'm Michael, this is Nidal, and my wife is recording, Elia. So if you haven't been to our channel, what we're trying to do is we're in the transition period of trying to go from on-grid to off-grid, selling our home. We already have a property in the White Mountains, but we have to get up there and start doing some work on it to prepare for the transition. But this morning, one of the things we wanted to go over was some of the little tips and tricks that we found helpful for if you're gonna live off grid. Some little things that we found that will be helpful, lights and safety stuff and things like that. And I'm gonna go over a few of those things and show them to you. So we have these lights here. It's basically like a light bar. It's got a magnet on it, and they have a remote control. They're rechargeable. These we got on Amazon. I'll show you right here with this one. You can just turn it on, and it has different settings on it. And then if you need to take it off and walk around with it, you can, and there's also a little spot here. So you can kind of change it and turn it off, and you can stick it back on. So those are good for if you don't want to be running solar power, generator power, something like that at night. You can just have stuff like that and save you a little bit of your watts for your solar generator or whatever you're running.
This is also what we do to practice off-grid.
Yes.
So we know we can be on-grid when we use the regular light switch, the ceiling fan, and everything, but we do practice off-grid. And for the sake of recording, we have regular lights on right now. But other than that, we usually try to curtail our usage. And that's with water. We're being mindful of how much water we're using as well. Yes. And this prepares us mentally, and also so it's not a culture shock for us when we go off grid.
Mm-hmm. So as I was saying before, we've kind of over the years collected some different things because we've been looking at doing this off-grid thing or buying a property for years now. But we just never did it. And, I know a bunch of you are probably thinking, hey, you're not even living off grid right now, but we have helped a family that bought raw land, build it up, and we practiced doing the off grid thing on their property. And I've also been in the military. So I've had to live in tents and different things like that. So I've done like an off-grid style living before, my wife as well. And we're practicing it here at this home as we transition to with using things such as these. So if you're also on a budget, you can find stuff like this at the Dollar Tree, which these are only $1.25, and they're really good little lanterns. They just take, I believe it's like AA batteries, and it has a dimmer switch so you can make it brighter or just, kind of dim it down. But again, these are only $1.25, so you can pick up a few of these on a budget. I find things like this. If you go to Ross and you go into the section where they have like automotive tools and things like that, you can find things like these. And the good thing about this one, it's rechargeable. So it's got the flashlight on it, and then it has different lights. Got these little things that come out to the side here. If you need to hang it from somewhere, moves around. And this was like $10 right there. So, and it's again rechargeable. You could also charge your phone off of it. And that's a cheap little gadget that you can get to help with lighting. To practice not using the regular lights in your house.
Do you remember the price of it?
Yeah, I just said it. It was about $10. So, you can find things like this at dollar stores, and it's just little push lights. Probably needs new batteries, but if you want to stick it like in a closet or something, you can put screw in the wall, and then it hangs from right here.
Pantry as well.
Yeah, and then these we also found at the Dollar Tree for $5. It's a good deal. Came with the remote, and it's a rechargeable sensor light. So with the magnet thing here, so you can put them up on places like this. This one, the magnet is not working good on this one.
But you can also lean it up, and when you come into a room, it lights up.
This one works better. So, and they even come with like a little metal tab that you can stick to a wall or wherever. So maybe if you have like a small hallway or just in a little room, you can put these up. It senses you, turns on, lights up the area, and they stay on for like a few seconds. So that'll save you from, again, using any generator power and stuff if you don't want to run your generator at night, even for solar. They sell ones like these. These are $5 also, as well as these.
At the Dollar Tree?
Yeah, a lot of these are like battery powered, remote control that you can buy. You can buy stuff like this at the dollar store, just candles, and it's cheap. You can stack up on candles, so that way you have some emergency lighting. And then we have things like this that we've bought as well, because sometimes if maybe you can't get any water trucked in, or you can't get some water and you're collecting rainwater, things like that, you can use these life straws. There's the little individual ones, and then they have the bigger ones like this. This one right here says that you can purify up to 4,755 gallons of water. You can just hang the little pouch on a tree or something, pour the water in there. Like you can get water from a puddle or some kind of tank that's collecting water, and just pour it in there, and then you can drink it through or just squeeze it out through here, and it purifies the water. You get stuff like this on Amazon too, little aqua tabs, and it's like 100 tablets, I believe, to help purify water if you need a drink, like some kind of rainwater or lake water, things like that.
And when will you use these? Like,
so these would be emergency stuff. Like I said, if there's a lake or a stream nearby, you can drink it through these life straws. They make these, I think they even sell these, and this one I got on Amazon, but I think you can still get them at camping section, and Walmart, I believe, sells them as well. You can find them different places. And then we found things like this at Ross and those type of places as well. You could plug them into the walls. They don't take a lot of energy, and these just send out like a signal for rodents and bugs and things like that they don't like.
They don't use a lot of wattage, do they?
Yeah, and then this one has like a little night light on the bottom of it, so this one's pretty neat. But they don't use a lot of power.
We used to have problems with the mice until we started using that. So that works pretty good. We've been using that for about over 3 years now. Yeah. Or going on 3 years.
And then one of the other things for, self-aid, buddy care type things, or, like first aid stuff, we found things like this that you can get on Amazon. And these here, it's a little device that, usually they tell you to use the Heimlich maneuver from behind, and sometimes that doesn't always work. So they have things like this that you can buy, and you just attach these to it. It has like different sizes for, depending on if it's a child or something. Put it over their mouth, and then it uses like a suction like that, and it'll pull out whatever's in their throat. They're choking.
Yeah, especially living off grid and not being able to have access to 911. These are items that would be good to have as part of your off-grid collection.
Yeah, because sometimes people live, hours, sometimes 2 hours down dirt roads and stuff like that if you're off-grid. We found stuff like this on Amazon. If you're cooking and you just need to extinguish a fire, especially like a grease fire or something, a lot of times they tell you don't throw water on it. It's just going to spread it. It's going to make it worse. They have blankets like this. They're fire blankets that you can just throw it over and it just smothers the fire and puts it out. You can get on Amazon as well. We got stuff like this, just small little portable extinguishers that you could keep around. I bought these in a 2-pack on Amazon. They're not that much. You can keep them around, your tiny home or trailers or wherever. Good to use stuff like this. And then another good find that I had at places like Ross. If you go in the Ross, they usually have pretty good deals on like little tools, safety stuff, lighting, rechargeable flashlights, things like that. And then things like this, it's a little emergency radio, has a solar for recharging it, little fan if you get, a little bit warm, you can fan yourself. It can pick up, like weather and emergency broadcasts right here. You can charge phones off of it. And it's also...
Let's see the board, the front. So you have the chargeable areas, the rechargeable for your phones.
For your phones, it has a little slot too for, looks like a SD card there. But you can also, it's got like a little aux-in port right there. You can also charge this from the wall as well if you want to charge it before you go out somewhere. It's good to keep it in a vehicle too for emergencies. For instance, we were watching an off-gridder yesterday and he got stuck on a muddy road and he had to leave his vehicle there. But sometimes you're in places where it either snows or it's really hot or whatever. You want to carry some emergency stuff in your vehicle. This is a good thing to have. Mm-hmm. But it also has a little flashlight on it too as well. Nice. But things like this, like I said, I always see them at Ross and little like section where they sell automotive and tools and things like that. Mm-hmm. And they're really good deals. You can find them for like $10. And, I recommend getting flashlights and stuff that are rechargeable because then you don't have to constantly be buying batteries for them. But some stuff like this one take regular batteries. But that's another thing is if you go to the Dollar Tree, you can buy the packs of batteries. I would get like the alkaline because they last a little bit longer. But I've seen deals at places like Walgreens. They'll sell a pack of, AA batteries, buy one, get one like free or buy one, get one cheaper. Just all kinds of different places where you can buy, like good deals on batteries. Right. You don't have to go to Walmart and buy the Energizer or Duracell that are, like $50 for a pack or whatever. There's better deals on batteries that you can find and, just collect them and stock up on them. So this is just, like I said, some of the little emergency things and tips and tricks that we've learned. And then there's also ones like this that we purchased on Amazon. And these are regular batteries. They're not rechargeable, but this little white part here, you can just unscrew it, pull it off, and change the batteries. But they're neat too because they're, like a designer type light, and they have like different settings where you can make them brighter and stuff. Little wall sconce, I think they call them. You can, put them in your hallways or stuff like that.
If you press it again, you can get the other one to light up with the same remote as well.
Yeah, see? And then it has like different color lighting. If you want it like a white light or you want it more like off-white, has different stuff like that. You can make it brighter or and it even has a timer where you can set it. So if you're in your little tiny home and you want to set it in, your kitchen or whatever, and you're going to be in there, it has a timer for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 60, and 120. So that way you're saving your battery as well.
Can I see the remote? Can you show them the remote? So you have timers on it and, but these are all things that we're sharing with you guys. Good morning. These are all things we're sharing with you guys because it's important to be able to practice off grid, and we've been doing this since we moved here. When we moved here, like we have the propane tank and the septic, so those are still options that we had. We're not on city gas here, and we're not on city plumbing. So we have a septic and we have the propane. So we understand what it's like to be able to have that. And that's part of being off grid as well. So the only thing we have here is Vail Water, it's city, and electric. So those are the only two things that we've been trying to see what it's like to practice. So our bills went from $200 and something all the way down. It plummeted really well because we've been practicing it. So we try to curtail TV watching. We try to curtail on the anything that uses power. When you're not using your power, you want to turn off your switch. We use a lot of extension cords, and our extension cords have those buttons on it that you can snap off everything without unplugging everything. Even our wine fridge here, if you look at the wine fridge, we turn the power off. It's winter. I don't need ice water during the winter. So these are some of the practical ideas that you can start implementing if you're going to live this lifestyle and you're transitioning from on-grid to off-grid. You want to already start setting up your mentality for that sort of living, like I said, so that it's not a culture shock. The other thing we do is we have this right here. We install one of these. So not only do I not touch the faucet for hygiene purposes, but also it makes us aware of the water usage that we're using. Mm-hmm. So we're not, wasting water. And our water bill is like $20 because we take the time to practice.
Yes. And the sensor on that is battery powered. So
yes,
you don't need electric for that.
Or solar.
Yeah. So it's just whatever power you're going to use for your pump to run your water.
Right.
Of course, that's going to take power.
Mm-hmm.
But the sensor is battery power. It's like a little 4-pack of batteries.
Right. So it's just a matter of, already trying to keep yourself, mindful of what it is you're going to be using and start implementing those things. We even try to implement our cooking because that's propane and it's gas. We curtail. So we plan meals. So this stove is propane. Mm-hmm. And propane gas fire looks different. It looks blue, So we try to use our propane as least as possible, because if you own propane tank, you are aware that it's not cheap. So that tank that we have, do you want to show them the tank?
Let me turn this around real quick.
Right. So the tank that we have, see the
tank out here.
It's very big.
Yeah. And this one we lease. When you get big tanks like this, the city, you can lease those.
With private companies.
They even have devices where they can monitor to see the level if it's getting low. But we were doing that at first, but we figured out why are we paying extra for that? So we just periodically we go out there and we just check it. There's a gauge on the top underneath that yellow cap there, and we can just see the level. And then once it gets down to a certain, I think it's like 20% or something like that, then we'll call them out, and they won't come and refill it unless it's at that mark. So, but when you have the larger ones like that, it can cost like over $400, yeah, almost $500 to fill it back up. But it's been lasting us about 10 months at least on that tank between us two. So it lasts a long time for us, and you can also break that into payments. So
right. So we plan on doing our own propane. We're not going to be leasing, or we're trying to curtail on our expense. We want to have control over our expenses. So part of going off grid is being mindful about your costs, you know. And since this place has a mortgage, we're trying to get out from under this, where, you know, if we sell it, then we can purchase a home outright and not have to worry about, you know, having a mortgage. And therefore, we're going to be mortgage free. Our land is already paid off. You know, we plan on having water tanks for our water. And we also plan for septic. In the event that a septic is not doable, we have talked about, what is the toilet called?
So there's incinerator toilets, which burn up all, you know, your waste, but those take propane, and, you know, they can be a little pricey too. I've looked up some, and they're, you know, around $4,000 or $5,000. They do have different brands that are a little bit cheaper, but some of the ones that I've looked up, they're, you know, the better ones are around that price. And then you have to, like I said, you have to use propane to burn it up. And then there's, you know, of course, the composting toilets are, you know, they're affordable. So, and use stuff like that, it's just going to take a little more work. You got to be emptying them out and cleaning them more often. But there are alternatives to, you know,
black
septic.
Water. What about your black water?
And then the black water, so I've found on Amazon, there's these little like portable grease trap. It's like a plastic container. It's basically set up kind of like a small septic. It has the baffles in it and stuff. And those you can connect to your kitchen black water. And, you know, you run it through there. It separates the greases and any, you know, food particles that get down in the drain. It has little compartments where those go in there. Like I said, it's set up like a septic. And then the water that comes, excuse me, the water that comes out of it is, you know, it's the cleaner water. So you can still use that for like your plants or something, or reusing it for whatever that you can use it for. And then basically once that tank gets full, then you can clean it out yourself. But it's an alternative to, you know, for the black water. And they're called grease traps. So you can look them up on Amazon, and they have little portable ones. They have different styles. They have plastic, they have metal, different ones like that.
Do you recall the price on that one?
I don't recall. I believe it was like maybe a couple hundred, maybe just over 100. I have to look at it again. But
so, you know, like I said, these are things that you want to be mindful of as we're preparing. We explained to you guys that when we were doing these videos, we were going to be covering not only our mental state, our emotions, you know, talk a little bit about the land, the plans for the land. So that's what we're trying to include while we're still here. We are planning to make a trip up to the White Mountains to start putting in the gate and the fence lines on the property. And so we're going to take you guys along with those. Those videos are coming up in the future. So don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. We'd like to thank you guys also for supporting us at this channel. And we thank you for always giving us encouraging comments. And I did have one comment, and we're going to try and be mindful of that, because we don't want people to stop watching us, because, you know, our lifestyle is really giving God the glory for everything that we do. We raise a banner in his honor.
Yes.
And that's what our platform is about. But we have gotten feedback, one person, you know, and we hope that he would change or feel differently. But we are here for everybody. And so we don't want to, you know, put our beliefs on other people. You know, we just want to be gracious. We want to show people that we love them, and we love them the way that Christ loves them. You know, Messiah loves them. So, you know, that's all we're here for. We're not here to step on toes. We're not here to be in competition with anyone. We're not here to make people feel overwhelmed. We just want to create a platform where people can just come and understand what it's like to go from on grid to off grid. And again, like I said, we are partially off grid here at our current property, which we're trying to sell. We are off grid partially. So our goal is to get there fully. And that's what our content is going to be about. You're going to see content, future content of us turning raw land into our vision for our homestead, our off-grid homestead. And where, as far as permits and stuff go, to each his own. We're not here to step on toes, you know, but everybody has the freedom to live and make choices the way that they want to live. And if you have questions about permits and all that, we just recommend that you go to your county,
the local county,
your county where you are living, because all the rules are different for different areas. So we are mindful about permits and stuff like that, but you know, there is options to opt out of it, and that is your business. You know, it's not our business to tell you how to build your homestead, just like vice versa. It's the same for us. We have the freedom in the Lord to live our life as God's children, and he's the one that created the heavens and the earth. Everything and its fullness belongs to him. So with that being said, we just want you guys to understand that we're not, whatever we're doing, you know, is not something that might be permissible in your area. So we do ask that you guys are mindful that whatever you see us doing, that you check with your county, because that's the best recommendation we can do for you, you know. And so we thank you guys for the opportunity to share our content with you guys. And Michael wants to say something.
So just wanted to thank you guys for coming out to our channel, and just that we could share these little tips and tricks with you.
Yes.
Just to make sure everybody knows, we're not sponsored by any of these people
or the stores.
Yeah, none of them are sending us this stuff. It's stuff that we just bought at the stores. I just named stores and stuff like that, and brands maybe, but it was just so that you guys can know what they are and where we bought them, and you know, kind of like pricing and stuff. But you know, we thank you guys for coming out. God bless everybody.
God bless you guys. We love you.
Yes.
See you in another video.
All right.